Hello and welcome. My name is Zad, and in this video, we are going to learn Kafka. So, let's start with very simple story. Imagine a coffee shop during its busiest hour. People keep coming in, ordering coffee, pastries, and more. Behind the counter, the baristas are moving fast, taking orders, making drinks, and handing them out, all while ensuring no one has to wait too long in the queue. Now, think of the coffee shop as a tech company, the customers as users making requests, and the baristas as servers processing those requests. Here's the catch: if everyone starts shouting their orders at the same time, chaos erupts. What this coffee shop actually needs is an organized system to manage the orders, something that keeps the flow smooth and ensures no order are missed or delayed. There is where Kafka comes in. What is Kafka? Apache Kafka is like that organized system in the coffee shop. It's an open source platform used for real time data streaming. Think of it as a high speed messaging system that sits at the center of your application, allowing different parts to talk to each other seamlessly. To put it simply, Kafka receives messages like coffee orders. Kafka stores them safely like a bulletin board holding orders. Kafka delivers them to the right place like the baristas preparing your drink. Why do companies need Kafka? In digital world, businesses handle enormous amount of data, often in real time. Netflix, Uber, LinkedIn, Twitter, and other process millions of events per second. They are actually tracking your activity which you are doing on their application. They need something super reliable and lightning fast to keep up with user demands. This is why Kafka is their tool. Now let's take the real life scenarios how Kafka powers big companies. Let's take the example of Netflix, the master of streaming. Imagine you are a binge watching your favorite series on Netflix. Behind the scenes, there's a massive system making sure your streaming quality adapts if your internet fluctuates. Your watch list is updated instantly when you add a new show. Netflix recommends personalized content based on your viewing habits. This is powered by Kafka. These all are actually powered by Kafka. Kafka streams data from millions of users in real time. It ensures all systems like recommendation engines, streaming servers, and analytics all are in sync, perfect sync. Think of Kafka as the waiter passing data between Netflix kitchen and your screen, ensuring you get your favorite show without any buffering. Alright, now let's take the example of Uber, the ride that you know. Imagine you book a Uber cab within a second. You are matched with a driver, but have you wondered how this works so smoothly? Uber uses Kafka to track real-time data. That means real-time rides. Kafka processes GPS data, so Uber knows exactly where drivers and riders are. Handle surge pricing. That means when many users request rides, Kafka alerts Uber's pricing system to adjust rate dynamically. Delivery of notification. So if your ride is delayed, Kafka makes sure the message reaches your phone instantly without failing, right? So here Kafka acts like a control center coordinating all moving parts in real time. Now we understood what is Kafka and where it is being used, why it is being used. Let's understand the different components of Kafka. So Kafka has the different components like topic, producer, broker, consumer groups, partition, offset, log, replication, and many more. Along with that, Kafka is also able to connect with the database to consume the messages, and we'll see that each one of that. So what is a producer? Let's start with a producer. So a producer is an entity that sends data, as we can see. Let's understand this Kafka working mechanism from this diagram. So you can see here we have producer over there. So what is actually producer? So producer is an entity that sends data or messages to Kafka broker. It could be a mobile app, a website, a server, or any system that generates data. So producer can be anything that generates data. Producer creates messages and sends them to a specific Kafka topic. Alright. So think of producer as a customer in a coffee shop placing their orders. Every time a customer makes an order, they are producing a piece of data, right? That shop needs to handle. Shop needs to prepare those orders, right? So now let's understand what is topic. So a topic is like a category, or you can understand it as a kind of folder in Kafka where messages are stored. But actually inside the topic, messages are getting stored inside a partition. We'll talk on that. First, let's understand the topic. So Kafka topics allow producer to send messages in an organized way. So consumer can later retrieve them and get that message what is coming from there from the producer, right? So let's relate it with a real scenario. Imagine a coffee shop kitchen has a bulletin board where all the incoming orders are posted, or you can assume a list over there in the kitchen, coffee shop kitchen, and we are marking all those. Kitchen is actually marking all those messages, all those orders over there, right? Each order is categorized by a type. Let's say coffee, pastries, smoothies, etc. So that baristas can quickly pick up the one they need to work on, right? So similarly, we have partition inside the topic. Topics are further divided into smaller parts called partitions to allow Kafka to handle massive amounts of data efficiently. Alright, so what is partitions we understand, what is Kafka broker we understood, what is producer we understood, and then what is topic as well. We understood that all and how it is working, right? Now let's talk about broker. What is a broker? A broker is a Kafka server that stores data from producers and serve it to the consumers. So all those messages which is coming from the producer will actually get received by this Kafka broker, and it will actually coordinate all those messages to the specific topics. Alright, Kafka is made up of multiple brokers working together in a cluster. So if you are going to make a Kafka cluster, that means you can have multiple broker over there, ensuring fault tolerance and high availability. That means let's say if any one of your Kafka broker crashes or because of some issues it goes down, next broker is ready to handle all those requests, right? So now let's relate this with a real scenario. Think of broker as a kitchen staff in the coffee shop. Each staff member is responsible for preparing and delivering a specific order. Together, they ensure all orders are fulfilled on time, right? So now let's talk about consumer. What is actually consumer? So consumer is an application or system that reads data or messages from the Kafka topics. We know that producer is actually sending the messages to the Kafka broker, and then Kafka broker coordinate all those messages to a specific topic, right? Now the topic will actually contain all those messages in, and it will keep all those messages actually inside a partition, right? Next, we have consumer who is actually listening for that specific message, who is actually waiting for that message to receive, right? So consumer is nothing but a application or system that read messages from the Kafka topics. Consumers subscribe to a specific topics and process the message they receive. It will say, okay, I'm going to subscribe for these messages, let's say for topic 1, and then this consumer will get the messages from topic 1. Similarly, we can have n number of consumers subscribe to a specific topic. As we can see in this diagram, we have 2 consumers listening for topic 1, subscribe for topic 1. We have another consumer subscribe for topic 2. Alright, similarly, we can have n number of consumers subscribe for a specific topic or multiple topics. Alright, now we understood. We send the messages as a producer, Kafka receive that messages, Kafka broker receive that messages, it coordinates all those messages to the specific topic, and then consumer will be listening for the topic to understand, not to understand but to receive all those messages and process that messages based on the subscription. It will actually receive that message. Now let's unfold this topic and we will see what is actually there inside the topic. We saw there we have partition 1, partition 2. What does that actually means? What is this partition actually and how message is getting saved over there? So we will see that how message is getting saved over there, and for that I am opening a new slides over there to make you understand using diagram. So we can see we have topic 1 here and then we have a number of partition over there. Just try to unfold a single partition, but let's say partition 1, and once we unfold this partition 1, we'll see this kind of things over there, this kind of architecture over there. That means it is actually storing the data, that is offset, key, value and metadata. So each what are actually partitions? So each Kafka topic is split into a smaller chunks called partitions. This makes Kafka highly scalable and allows multiple producers and consumer to work in parallel. We can see we have n number of partitions over there. That means multiple consumer can receive n number of messages, n number of orders or parcels from all these partitions. That is how Kafka scales. Now let's relate this with real-time scenario and we'll understand how actually this works. So think of a coffee shop where all orders are split into separate queues. One for coffee, one for smoothies, one for let's say pastries. This ensures faster service as staff can work on multiple orders at the same time, right? So now we saw there we have offset over there. That means this partition is actually storing offset, key, value and metadata. So let's talk about offset. What is offset? An offset is a unique ID for every message in a partition. That means it is used for tracking the messages inside a partition, right? It helps Kafka track which message have been consumed. So if you are going to consume, if consumer is going to consume these messages, that means Kafka is going to track that message has been consumed and how it is finding out that message has been consumed. So Kafka basically mark this message, mark this offset over there, so that next time Kafka will understand, okay, this message has been actually consumed and this has to be now deleted from the Kafka topic. It should not be there anymore, right? So that is what offset is. Now let's talk about this value. This key is nothing but the partition key, and then the value is going to be actually your message, actually the orders which you are sending or which you are sending to message broker or Kafka broker as a producer. So that message is getting stored here as a value, and then we are saving the metadata as well. That Kafka is managing a metadata as well, that is timestamp and headers and many more. And through this metadata only, Kafka is going to scale. That means in the traditional Kafka application, that means older version of Kafka application, Kafka is basically coordinating all those messages. We know that in the previous slides we saw, previous architecture diagram we saw, Kafka is receiving all those messages. Kafka is sending those messages to the specific topic and then consumer is listening for the messages. But then how Kafka broker actually coordinate these messages? It is not doing this all itself. Kafka is in traditional application or in previous version of Kafka, Kafka is actually using Zookeeper to collect all those to coordinate all those messages based on the metadata. Right? The separate, it is actually maintaining a separate server to store the metadata of the Kafka. All right, but now in the latest version of Kafka, Zookeeper has been replaced with the graph, that is Kafka Wrapped. That is called Kafka Wrapped. It is no more storing the metadata inside a separate Zookeeper server. That means we don't have to rely on separate Zookeeper server to maintain all those metadata. That means Kafka is no more relying on the Zookeeper to maintain its metadata. Instead, it is maintaining all its metadata in their server itself, as you can see in this partition, right? So this is how actually Kafka is designed to handle failures gracefully. Each partition is replicated across multiple brokers. If one broker fails, Kafka automatically switches to a replica. That means, let's say one broker fails, Kafka will Kafka will actually replicates all. That means it will switch all these messages to a new replica. All right, that is to make sure no messages are lost, no messages are even if server crashes, no message should be lost. All right. So that is the working mechanism of Kafka, and then we understand what is consumer, we understood what is zookeeper, and we also understood what is brokers and how Kafka is actually coordinating all those messages, right? So that is it about Kafka, and apart from this, we have one more component of Kafka, that is Kafka Connect. So let's talk on Kafka Connect, what Kafka Connect is actually doing. So Kafka Connect is a framework provided by Apache Kafka to integrate external systems with Kafka. It enables the seamless streaming of data in and out of the Kafka without requiring developers to write custom code for every integration. And we will see how this works actually. So for that, I'm just going to open a new diagram over there, and you can see here. So this is how Kafka Connect works actually. Kafka Connect has two components, that is Kafka Source Connector and then Kafka Sync Connector. So what is this two actually doing over here? So source connector is nothing but when you are connecting your Kafka to a source from where the data is coming. Let's say you are storing data in a database, right? So the Kafka source connector will actually get connected with your database, so that at any point of time, if the database is actually saving any data, that all will get published to the Kafka, and you don't have to write any single line of code. It will do it itself just by installing this Kafka source connector plugin, and then all those data will get published to Kafka broker. And since we know Kafka broker will publish all those messages, coordinate all those messages to a specific topic or a specific route, you can say, and then those all messages will get consumed by someone, right? In this case, we can see here we have one more connector over there, that is Kafka Sync. That means this message has to be consumed by someone, where this Kafka Sync comes into picture. This will pick up all those messages, and then based that message should get delivered somewhere. So in this case, we are going to say target storage. Let's say target storage. That means we are taking data from source storage. We are taking data from source storage based on source connector, using source connector, and then all those data, all those messages will get delivered somewhere else to the target storage, right? And in between, if we want to process those data, we can of course do a lot of processing on that data and then save it to the target storage. That is how Kafka source connector and Kafka sync connector works. So this is it about all the Kafka mechanism, like how Kafka is coordinating messages, how as a producer we are going to send messages to Kafka broker, and then we also saw there how topic is actually saving that messages inside partition, and based on the partition we are going to how Kafka is actually going to scale itself horizontally, right? So there are consumer as well who is waiting for the messages for the specific topic, and for that the consumer has to subscribe for the topic. All right. So this is the way the Kafka actually works, coordinate all those messages, and we also saw there previously in the older version of the Kafka is actually using a separate server, that is Zookeeper, to maintain its metadata. But then in the latest version of Kafka, it is using Kafka Craft, and now it is being used for it is being used for coordinating all those messages, and this makes Kafka to handle all those coordinate all those messages efficiently. And this is how whole Kafka system works. I hope you understood how Kafka is working, what are different components of Kafka. It's simple, very simple. If you understand this diagram, you will get it very easily. All right. So if you have any doubt, if you have any concern, please let me know in the comment section. I will try to address all of your doubt. I will try to address all of your queries as early as possible. So thank you guys. We'll meet in the next videos, and that video will actually implement Kafka producer, consumer, as well as topic. We'll see all those concepts which we learned in this video, and we'll make an application, order application, where we are able to publish the order to the Kafka, and then there will be a consumer as well who is listening for the order, and they will consume it and process the order. All right. Thank you, and we'll meet in the next videos. And if you like this video, please keep like for this video.